Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing great. I want to try to get this video through pretty quickly so you can build these champions during this free gear removal event and give it a shot during CVC. Because during CVC, we're going to be earning a good chunk of points for each one of these stage 10 runs, which these two champions can both solo stage 10 of Spider hard. Not the easiest builds, but it may be accessible to a lot of you. So each run we're getting 400 points, which is great because this CVC has personal rewards. I have a lot of runs left to do because I want to try to get 400,000 points this CVC. We're struggling a little bit, low members, but that's besides the point. We're not going to look at that. Now, we also have a Spider turn attack tournament going on. This team is not the most efficient for turn attack tournaments. It's not even a team. It's two champions who can both solo Spider. Now, all this stuff goes together very well because the free gear removal, you can build these champions. You can also sell the accessories you're getting from Spider, which, to be honest, you should probably be selling most of them if you're pretty late game because you get so many better accessories. But you're going to get more silver to rebuild some other champions. You're also going to get some good CVC points to put yourself in a higher personal reward CVC tier in the future and finishing out this Spider tournament. So let's take a look at these two champions. We have Wallmaster Aoron as well as Arix. I want to start with Wallmaster Aoron because this is the champion who I've been using to solo basically all of my Spider tournament up until this point. This is amazing because this Spider solo strategy uses no presets whatsoever. I literally just have Wallmaster come in here, no presets, and let him do his thing. Could you set him to use his presets? Yeah. You could have him set to open with that A3 ability, giving him increased accuracy, increased attack, and increased speed, which means you could build him with lower accuracy. You could have him with even, well, maybe not lower speed because you still needed him to go before the boss, which the boss's speed is 245. So you want to be at least 246. But you could have him open with that A3 ability. It's not a problem whatsoever. For me, I prefer to use champions with no presets whenever possible, just so I can throw them in here, load up RSL Helper, and have it swapping out the food, or even use the multi-battles and have it swapping out food as it goes. But this Wallmaster, the reason why I'm so, I guess, surprised and honestly pretty excited is he has no blessings. Like, he is not top of the line, crazy well built. He does have a 9-piece Slayer set, but you don't have to have that. The reason why I have it is because he is not hitting anywhere close to the max HP. So every now and then, I'm going to duplicate those hits and actually get him closer to hitting enemy max HP. Pay attention to what the big hits on the big Spider are, but 463,000 and 537,000. Enemy max HP hit is 1.5 or 1.4 million. So he is a long ways away. So when you go to build your Aoron, don't worry, in my opinion, about squeezing out the most possible damage from him. While that is going to speed your run up, and you could probably get it 25 seconds or so, or even less, it's going to come at the cost of your survivability, assuming you don't have very much blessings. Now, if you have a 6-star blessing on him, or even a 4-star blessing, a 5-star blessing, it doesn't really matter. That would be a significant help because of how the passives work on the hard mode dungeons. Make him do more damage, him take less damage. I forget what passive it is, but it'd be great if you had some good blessings. Where is this stuff? The blessing, okay, here. Decreases damage inflicted by the boss for each awakening level on a champion. Increases the damage received by the boss for each awakening level on the attacking champion. So, if you had a high level blessing, you're going to get a big damage reduction and a damage increase on the boss. So that's amazing. So you can actually lower your gear requirements. But my Aoron, I've ran this probably close to 50 times or more, and I believe I've had one fail, which the fail comes at the very beginning. If he doesn't land the decreased attack and the boss crits, he's dead. If he lands the decreased attack and the boss crits, he should be fine most of the time, but I guess that one time he actually did fail. So we're finishing up this run. They usually land about 37 seconds, but with 9-piece Slayer, there is some RNG. Does it double hit? What happens? So here we go with the last double hit here. Should be the last one. Just kidding. It's not because, like I said, we're not max HP capped at all. Not even that close. Now, do I want better blessings on him? Yeah, for sure. But this works out fine. He still does great in Hydra. I still use him in Shogun, and he's still working, obviously, very well for soloing Spider. Now, when I look at his build, I'm going to go to Spider specifically, but what you're going to want to do is make him, one, faster than 245, especially if you do not have any blessings for him. 245, very important. You also want to make sure he has at least 4-piece Slayer. I'm going to say go for at least 6-piece if you can, because a 30% defense ignore is amazing. And if you go 4-piece, well, you're not really going to be able to fit anything else as far as defense ignore in his kit. So you need to go 6-piece in my opinion, 4-piece could possibly do it, but it'd be pretty close. I'd be interested. Let me know if it actually works for you. But 6-piece is really the sweet spot to be at. So we're looking at the speed being over 245, HP and defense. HP is very important for surviving that initial hit, HP and defense mix. But remember, on Wallmaster's passive, whenever it increases this champion's max HP by 20% for each enemy killed or Hydra head decapitated by this champion, stacks up to 50,000. So, while HP is extremely important, you also want to push some defense because his HP is going to be scaling a little bit later into the fight, and he's going to be safe as far as HP goes. But if you can get some defense, that'll be very, very beneficial. Honestly, I wish I had a Slayer ring that had defense or HP on it. I'd use it, but all I got's attack. It's a decently rolled attack ring as well for survivability, so I'm not going to rework it, but I do wish I had a bit more survivability. Now, when it comes to his other stats, so remember, HP, very important. Defense, also very important. If I get it closer to 4,000, that'd be amazing. Speed, over 245, so 246 at least. Crit damage and crit rate, obviously crit rate being 100%. Crit damage being pretty high. Now, if you wanted to do stage 9 of Spider, you could. He could have lower crit rate for that, since he is Magic Affinity. Stage 9 of Spider is Spirit Affinity, something to consider. So his accuracy, I have it at 330 basically for Spider specifically. I don't have to have it that high. He does have an ability that increases his accuracy as well. So if you want to build him lower, that's fine. Personally, I just like him opening, and he does open without presets with the A2 ability. So there's something to keep in mind there. If you want to use presets, you can build him a little bit lower. Now, as far as the specific pieces, this is what I have. Remember, 4-piece required. 6-piece, I believe, is like the actual place you want to be. And then 9-piece, you definitely don't have to be 9-piece. You could just be 6-piece plus some other random sets. The 9-piece for me is just because I have no blessings, and it still worked when I had him in 6-piece plus something else, but it just wasn't as quick. The 9-piece definitely speeds it up some and was averaging 37 seconds. As far as his blessings, this is what I have. May not be the best setup, but it's what I found to be working pretty well, giving him more speed, helps Master for some more damage, and then extending the duration of those debuffs. So all this worked out very well. Now, this is Wallmaster Aoron. Like I said, no blessings, which is really, really sweet. So if you have him, congratulations. You got a very solid spider farming champion. Now, the next champion is also really good. She's a free champion. She does require presets because if you don't use the presets, I don't know what the sweet spot is, but if you don't have presets, she likes to use this A3 ability, which ends up killing her most of the time, to be honest. So I'll jump in here. This one's going to be a little bit slower, but she still works out fantastic, and you could get creative with her build and do even better. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is while you want to build her with some good damage, you don't want to build her with so much damage that she's killing the spiderlings with that A2 ability, because that A2 ability is placing the leech. If she kills the spiderlings in one shot, for example, well, she's never going to get healed by that leech. The leech is very, very important. It's placing the stun, which from the masteries is also placing the leech. So if she's just constantly killing everybody, that's not really what we want to have happen. What I want to have happen is her to do a few hits, get the A2, get some leeches out there, and then fully heal up by placing that A1 and such. Killing the champions, of course, killing spiderlings, of course, is the plan, the goal. But we don't want to be just running through them like crazy. So basically, 250 crit damage with 6-piece Slayer, you don't need all that. I believe mine is sitting at like 200 crit damage with 4-piece Slayer, and you can see that she did it in a minute. That's really solid. It's no problem to me whatsoever. I mean, it's a free champion with a pretty accessible build, in my opinion. Granted, you do have to get lucky with the Slayer stuff from the free Forge Pass, as well as the Deck of Fates that we've had in the past, if you want to do this 100% free to play. But as far as this set goes, you could get very creative with it. You could go 4-piece Slayer mixed with 4-piece, I wouldn't say Savage necessarily. You could go 4-piece Regeneration. You could go 4-piece Lifesteal. You wouldn't even have to get the Blessing or the Masteries to proc the Leech if you had Lifesteal. You could go 4-piece of a lot of different sets. Or you could go like I have, 2 sets of Immortal, which is going to give me more HP, more survivability, and some heals as well. So with the Arix build, we don't have to be as fast. 215. Actually, I'm fine with the champions around her dying before she ever gets a turn. But you do want to make sure you push up HP and defense to a pretty high level. You also want to make sure that she is killing the spiderlings in a reasonable time. What's going to happen is the longer the fight goes on, if you don't kill the spiderlings, the big spider's just going to eat them, boost her attack percentage. Eat them, boost her attack percentages. So the more she's eating the spiderlings, the more attack percentage the big spider is getting to eventually just one-shot your champion. So you do need to find that sweet spot with damage. 200% crit damage seems to be fine, especially with Wallmaster as well. We seem to be doing okay, and I haven't had any fails with Arix. Not to say she can't, but so far, it's been looking great. Now with her HP and defense, we have 93,000 HP, 3,400 defense, and you can see everything else. Accuracy, you do need accuracy to place the stun from the A2 ability, though technically you don't need it to place the leech from the masteries. You do need it for the A2. You could run a stun set. I wouldn't recommend doing that, honestly. It just complicates things, in my opinion. But you could if you really wanted to, and then you wouldn't need accuracy in the build whatsoever. But as far as her gear, we have a triple roll weapon, triple roll speed weapon, a helmet with some speed that's not glyphed apparently, an immortal shield, crit rate on the gloves, nothing really that special, HP percentage chest plate, speed boots with a nice ascension there. And then for the accessories, really, I don't really care what's down here. Just get 2 pieces that are Slayer and make the rest of the stuff work. Her build's relatively simple. It's not super difficult to hit, in my opinion. Assuming you have Slayer, you need 4 pieces of Slayer for her. I wouldn't even go 6 piece, personally, because she'll probably be killing things too fast. That is assuming you have a blessing. If you don't have a blessing, you may have to tweak your approach a little bit. But at a 4-star blessing, increases the damage inflicted to the bosses and their minions according to the number of living enemies. So she is boosting her damage. You could change this to something else. With Wallmaster, I'd probably go like Cruelty, just because he is so good in other areas of the game, like Hydra and all that kind of stuff. He has AoE stuff. Cruelty would be really good on him. But for her, I think her main use is in Spider for me. She's a great arena champion as well, but this is a good blessing for her and does help me out a little bit. So that's Arix. Arix, Solo Spider 10 hard, Wallmaster, Solo Spider 10 hard. You have 2 champion options there, guys. These are her masteries that I have currently. The most important one with this build is Harvest Despair, the chance of placing Leech when placing Stun, Sleep, Fear, True Fear, Freeze, or Petrification. Very, very important. Everything else, it's kind of up to you, to be honest. Like, build her out the best you can, pick up the healing stuff where you can as well. Extra speed is great, but the biggest thing is picking up Harvest Despair. If you got that, then you really should be fine. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and throw my Wallmaster Aoron in here. I'm going to go ahead and load up some fights. Let's do some super raids as well. I'm going to glyph him out later on, try to get him to be a little bit more tanky so that this first hit definitely can't kill him. Like you'll see here in just a moment that sometimes it looks a little bit rough. 25k, that's not a big deal, but if he crits, well, we could be in a rough spot. Or if the decreased attack's not placed, it could be in a rough spot as well. So maybe a 97% success rate or say 96% currently. I'm not for sure. I haven't ran it enough to really say that. But what I can say is that these 2 champions can solo Spire 10 hard pretty fast and very consistent. So best of luck building these champions. Good luck finishing out your CVC and your other events. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll catch you on the next one.